Well, after spending all week trying to find a place to camp and seeing everything was either fully reserved, we decided to head to the mountains and see how the first come, first served sites were and the dispersed camping was. So we headed down Interstate 40 to Old Fort, which is a cool little town right in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. And it's got a lot of artsy stuff to it. It's a little tiny town, and it's about an hour from Asheville, so it's got a lot of Asheville type of influence. They have these big murals and paintings all through the town. They have a lot of really neat stuff, and because it's in the foothills, it's an outdoor spot. But you go through the town and into the mountains, and it's only maybe 5 or 10 miles outside of town, and you hit the edge of the Pisgah National Forest. There's Trailhead parking here, right over there. The campground is up ahead. Old Fort Gateway Trail. Old mill house. Which is pretty cool. Gotta open that to tourists. Here's the first bridge that is in pretty bad shape. This little bridge, the water that goes under it, is quite pretty. Little tiny waterfalls. Going through the woods. This is pretty nice. Keela likes it. He's not allowed to go down there though. There are about 3 dozen no trespassing signs on this bridge. There are a whole lot of these signs everywhere. Here's a couple more. No trespassing, no trespassing, no trespassing, no parking. Pretty soon you're off the paved road into the Forest Service road, which is well maintained dirt, and you get into the you go through the gate that's kind of signifies the national forest, I guess. But there's places along this road where you can stop and fish. The Curtis Creek is stocked. This sign designates the beginning of the campground, and it's literally on either side of this road. There are just off-road camping sites that you can pull into, and some of them are big enough for a trailer, but most of them are blocked off by rocks, so you have to just park there and pitch a tent. But there is one loop in the campground that you can park it, but like this one here on the right is just a standard little site that has a little vault toilet. And all these campsites here, we're coming up to the loop, but all these campsites are paid. They're $10 a night, and this loop has a host in it. I don't know if he covers all the campsites along the road, but there's the pay station right there. So here's the pay station. It's $10 a night for a very bare bones campground. And these are all primitive sites, no hookups or anything. They do have picnic tables and fireplaces. And you can see on the left there the two-seater vault toilet. It's just a latrine with a hole in it, nothing special. And you can see these campsites are a little tight, but not too bad. But all the sites are pretty much the same. Picnic table and tent platform, little driveway. Nothing huge, except for here's the host way up at the top of the road. And he's got a humongous Montana fifth wheel in here. Now, up the road from the Curtis Creek campground, there are places that you might think are dispersed camping, and there are some dispersed camping. But the dispersed campsites have signs that say campground 1, 2, or 3, things like that. But a lot of these are parking for fishing. And, you know, there's signs that say no camping here. And yes, they've been used in the past as campsites. But, I mean, there's signs everywhere that say no camping here. And it's mostly because they get trashed. I mean, this is a nice little campsite, but obviously you can't camp here anymore. Too many fire rings. There's 3 fire rings. There's trash all over the place, and it's close to the stream. So we'll show you some of the dispersed free campsites. We've passed 3 or 4, but they're full with people. I mean, groups of 8 or 9. But we'll show you some of the ones that are not quite so full. As we climb the road up out of Curtis Creek Campground, we're following the stream, the river, whatever it is, Curtis Creek, and it is really a very pretty stream. It's very nice. I think it's a pretty nice area. You see these signs on the trails, and this is because this is a bear sanctuary, and you might meet bears. It's definitely an area where you want to go if you want to see wildlife, and if you're worried about it, just stay out, because it's a beautiful piece of forest, and it's not far from civilization, and it's on this really nice Forest Service road. I mean, this is a good road. Well, I'm afraid we may have driven out of the designated camping areas since this sign is up. We just passed campsite number 3 or 6, so there's at least 6 roadside free tent camping areas where you can get in with there's a place to park your car, and then you can walk in and set up your tent. But this is just an awesome area. But I'll tell you, running water brings out black flies, and that's what we have in front of the camera and all over us is black flies. So we're not going to stay here. We're going to let the boy mark the area, and then we're going to get back in the car where the flies are not as bad. As we get up the mountain, the road gets worse. A lot more places that are washed out from rain and stuff, but I mean, not impassable by any means. Just a little more rocky, a little more rivulet-y, some bouncing along. Campsites there, 2 campsites next to each other, separated a little bit, but they're in the same parking spot. All right, I think we are more or less at the top of the mountain. Still in the forest fire area, but see how fast it greens up. Like these plants, these rhodos with leaves on them, I'm pretty sure they're this year's or maybe last year's, but see, all the other stuff is come back, greened up pretty good. And with the forest fire, hopefully all the ticks are gone. But we're at the top of the mountain, and there's too many trees to see the fantastic view that I'm sure occurs here. So I'm gonna set up the drone for you guys. I got clear sky above me, so I can set him up and set him down. We're at a little road here that doesn't look like it's been used, and looks like somebody's camped here, and it's probably a nice camping spot. This road goes up right to the Blue Ridge Parkway, and so we got up on the parkway and headed north to see what we could find. And there's tunnels and interesting things along the parkway to see. So if you follow up that road until you get to the Blue Ridge Parkway, you come out here on Route 80. It's just Highway 80 for the state. And you're at the Eastern Continental Divide. So we have our mountains in our Continental Divide too. I have been to this campground 3 or 4 times off season, and it never seems to be very busy or crowded. I can't believe how many people were here this particular day. I will admit it was a beautiful weekend. Not too hot. It was overcast, so it wasn't too sunny. This campground had a issue with flooding earlier in the year, and there have been some serious thunderstorms in the last couple of weeks, but they had bulldozers there and the roads were closed and one of the loops was closed, so maybe it was just compression, but it was a lot of people in a very small spot.